Welcome to the Turnt Abel Podcast.
Am I doing all I can to get it right? All of the things that keep me up awake at night.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Turnt Abel Podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Nashville hard rock band True Villains. I'm here with Beau, Matt, and Greg. Welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Of course. So I guess first and foremost, where are you guys based? Because I was doing a little bit of research before the interview, and it said on your website, I believe, that you guys are from all over the U.S., but kind of have centered yourself in Nashville. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm where we are currently. I'm currently at Matt's house right now. Beau's currently at his house. So we're all kind of based out of different places, but we do live in Nashville. All of us.
Okay, so all of you guys currently live in Nashville?
Yeah, but we do hail from kind of all over the country. Yeah, I'm from California. Greg's from North Carolina. Beau is from Minnesota. Tim is from New York, and then Barry's from Florida. So literally like every corner. And then we met in the middle in Nashville.
Very cool. So what brought you guys all to Nashville? Is it just the music city and stuff like that? Or do you just so happen to land all there?
Yeah, music brought us all here, but the pursuit of being in a band all together was not even really a factor. We just sort of, independent of one another, ended up in Nashville. And Matt and Tim knew each other in Los Angeles, but I don't think they had dreams of moving to Nashville together to start a rock band. They just reconnected upon moving here. And then we all met just through us all being professional musicians and having a similar goal of being in an original rock band that doesn't suck,
Awesome. Well, how do you guys feel about the Nashville music scene? I mean, typically when you think about Nashville, you think of country music, folk. You guys are kind of going in the, I don't want to say opposite direction, but you're going in the hard rock scene, the almost like late 80s, early 90s, kind of like that power rock. What inspired you to go in this route?
There's a lot of rock, like rockers that actually live in Nashville. So surprisingly, there is a big kind of like subculture here for rock music. And I think that's actually been to our benefit to be different, because I feel like inviting people out to come see your band play, and it's just like every other band they've seen that week. You might not get as good a results if you're like, hey, do you want to come see a hard rock band play? And they're like, yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen a rock show, so I'm gonna go check that out. So that has helped us in that way, but it's also been a hindrance because it's really hard to get anybody in the industry interested in a rock band because it's not what they're used to, and they don't have a playbook as far as breaking a rock band. It's like, oh, we know how to do it with country, but what do we do with these guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I'd say there's a lot of rock stars that kind of live here or have moved here now too. Even since I've been here for 3 or 4 years, it seems like there's more and more like rock celebrity icon kind of people that are coming here. So there's a rock scene. There's all kinds of music here. If you're looking for it, you can find it if you look hard enough. Cool.
Now, did you guys gravitate to Nashville because of the music scene? What made you guys want to go there instead of, from where you're all originally from?
Beau, you came down for like a ping pong tournament or something, right? And just never left.
It was a cornhole tournament.
Oh, a cornhole.
It was a cornhole tournament.
No, I think we all came here in the pursuit of doing music as a living, and then I think after you do the sideman thing for long enough, you kind of just realize, well, for me, I don't want to speak for everybody, but like that's just not what I want to do with my life. Like I'm okay doing it because it pays the bill, and yeah, it is fun, but like as far as scratching the creative itch of like wanting to do something that's your own and you do with your friends, and it's like less of a corporate environment and more of a, hey, this is fun, like we're doing this for fun, and then it turns into a career. Like I feel like that's the golden ticket. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants that in the music industry, and then they settle for being hired to play for somebody else. Again, I don't want to speak in generalities, but I feel like the general consensus of what I've talked to, I don't know if everybody can weigh in on this, but most people want to be in their own band. And then they just kind of, when they can't figure out how to make that work, because it's tough, it's super tough to do things on your own and get people to give a crap about what you're doing. And so it is, people do tend to fall into the, well, you know, I'll play for other artists and make a living doing that, because it's kind of an audacious claim to think that you can do it on your own and be in your own band and make a living doing that.
That's such an interesting point, because I really liked how you touched on that, almost settling as a musician. There's obviously a lot of talk about music journalists and being failed musicians, so that's like the step below. Do you feel like other people could relate to not making their own band, so settling for playing, you know, side shows or just playing to pay the bills and the like?
Yeah, it's not, I don't want to speak down to that profession, because I do it myself. Greg does it, you know, Beau fills in for artists from time to time. So I'm not speaking down on that profession whatsoever. Most of our friends are doing that for a living. But I'm just saying that, right? I'm sorry.
This is dangerous.
I know.
I get it. I 100%.
Alienating a really large percentage of the people that we know.
Yeah. Again, I'm reiterating that I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that is a lesser than career path. It's just not what I wanted for myself, and I don't think that's what.
And it's not what he wants for anyone else either.
Yeah.
Not what I'm saying. Yeah, like, yeah, but you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, moral of the story: pursue your dreams. Yada yada.
And it sucks. It's not fun sometimes.
Oh, it blows. It blows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes, man, I wish I was a side guy. Call me.
Yeah, we're still available for hire, just to be clear.
So before I forget about it, so we can just like hit the nail right on the head. So a cornhole tournament. So you came down to, you guys, was that?
Oh, please run with it.
No, I met them on Craigslist actually.
The real story is even funnier.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. I gotta do this.
Actual stories.
But I had come to Nashville on vacation, like just to check out the music scene, because I'd kind of outgrown what there was to do in the Midwest. So I just wanted to move somewhere else. And then I came to Nashville and just thought it was cool. There's a lot of opportunities, like just wanted to change the scenery. And then I ended up just like checking the Craigslist ads for Nashville, so that I knew when I moved down, like, oh, I could get like, you know, start doing something right away. And I had met Tim and Matt and Barry initially. Like before I moved down, we were kind of like, we did a Zoom call and they had sent me some music. And then as soon as I drove down that night, I ended up staying at Tim, the guitar player's house, like as soon as I got to town. And then we jammed later on that week and played our first show like 2 weeks later, maybe.
Awesome. So it's not.
Bo's still looking for his own place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never moved out. Just stayed on his couch forever.
Oh my God. Well, at least it's something. Not as good as a cornhole, but I mean, you know, Craigslist is still peak. So when would you guys say that the band like officially formed? Would you say that it was in 2020, or would you say it was a little bit earlier?
Probably around 2017, I think, is when the current incarnation kind of came together, and we were all like, yeah, this is the band. This is what we want to do. I mean, we had a bit of a rebranding in 2020 after working with Nick Raskulinecz, the producer. But I mean, we were pretty gelled by that point anyway. We just kind of realized stylistically there are more directions we could pursue than the ones that we were kind of focusing on at that time. But we've been in a band since 2017, I would say.
Okay, cool. how long have you each been playing music for, singing for? I mean, Beau, those vocals are pretty top notch. I can't imagine that you just woke up one day and you just belted them out.
I've been singing like live or singing with a band since man, how old am I now? It's been, I mean, over a decade for sure.
Oh, wow.
So I think I started like playing actual shows when I was probably 15 with my band that I was in high school, and then just never stopped, just kept on going. So it's been easily over a decade.
Cool. Very cool. What about you guys? How long have you guys been playing?
I want to say my first show that wasn't at like a high school talent show or something was in 2006 or 2007. And I've been playing, somewhat consistently since then. So however many years that is.
I got my first drum set. I actually just saw a picture from Christmas morning. I was 4 years old when I got my first drum set because I would not shut up about it. I wanted to play the drums. And I think they just bought it as just to shut me up. But then they realized oh my gosh, this is annoying. It's so loud.
Do you have that picture still?
I mean,
he's the kid. If you look at the picture, you're like, that's the kid that was in Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Man. Okay. And I think my first paycheck was playing drums for musical theater. And I thought it was the best thing ever because I'd make $100. But then when you think about all the time for
that's more than we make
rehearsals,
now.
yeah, and it was I thought it was great when I was a teenager, 14. And now that I look back at it, it's man, I was getting ripped off because all the weeks of rehearsals and everything. But it makes you, when you're getting paid to do something, I feel like it's an extra added amount of pressure. I need to deliver right now. So I learned that skill early on. This isn't just for fun. It's no, I'm being paid to do a job. However little that paycheck was, if that company's listening to this podcast,
yeah, come on,
man.
Come on.
Speaking of getting ripped off, there was a legendary venue in Winston-Salem called Ziggy's. And the first time I ever played there was July 7th, 2007, 07, which we just came up on the anniversary, a few days ago.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people knew about it, and still talk about it. But we didn't quite sell out the venue, but we were these young high school kids, and the people who booked us were so surprised. They were like, what? How did this happen? And we made, I think $619 is what they were like, this is how much you made. And so they handed me this big wad of cash. And of course I was on cloud nine. I was having an out of body experience. And he was like, all right, kid, make sure you count it now. And so I flipped through it and I was like, yeah, it's all there. Thank you so much. And then I go back home later and count it. It's only $300. So they knew that they could just rip me off because I was this nervous little kid,
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. I'm not sure that I ever told the other band members. If the other band members from that band are watching, I apologize.
Damn.
Stuck with all these years.
All these years later, I've been holding on to that for so long.
That hurts, Greg.
So light now.
Snaps for Greg. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a moral to this story: is you won't make any money in the music industry
if you're in an original band.
Yes. So, Beau, any stories on getting ripped off to follow up these two?
Man, I guess I don't have any that come to mind right away. I'm sure that there are some. No, never mind. I definitely played at a club once, and they had, man, what did they gave us half cash and then half a check, and I went to deposit the check, and the check bounced. So this was when I was a little bit older, so I was probably in college, and then I was I was over 18. I was probably 21 or 22, And I decided that I was going to try to take them to court. So I like sent them, I like went to the courthouse and I filled out this paperwork and it's tried to send them something like to take them to court, but they could never get it to deliver because this person had changed addresses so many times. Like they just kept moving. Every single month there was a different address somewhere else. So I could never even get them to go to court because they just couldn't find them.
How much did you, okay, out of curiosity, how much money was it for though?
Oh, it wasn't for anything. It was probably dude, it was probably for like
$72.
no. It was probably for like $600.
Oh.
But it was more so just the point of the matter that I kind of wanted to be like, all right, fuck you guys.
Of course, it's the principle. Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely get that.
Dude, just to go and fill out the paperwork was like $100, and I knew that right away. But I was like, nah, I'm still gonna go do it.
Can we cuss on this platform? We should probably make sure of that before.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, doesn't that just boil your blood just to get like ripped off like that? Just, ugh. And then I definitely get the resentment that you just carry like years on, or like the pettiness of spending $100 just to fill out like forms and stuff. Like, and $100 to be bored for like 30 minutes, just like filling all that stuff.
You have to get used to that though, in the music industry. Disappointment is around the corner every day. But
rejection,
like that shouldn't deter you. If you have like a passion and a dream to do something, like do it. That shouldn't deter you from that. But just know that like there's a great quote. It's nobody likes you till everybody does. Right. And so you just have to keep fighting until you figure out a way. And the hardest thing about the music industry is there's no like, do this. This is what you should do. You just have to like, oh yeah, well, you guys got nothing going for you. What does that mean? Like, how do we get something going for us? You know, and we did, Beau and I did a podcast the other day, and the guy's first thing he said was like, man, your guys' music is awesome. Like, how are you not famous?
Like you'd have an answer ready.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's like, well,
we're really dragging ass on that one thing.
Yeah,
we know what we need to do.
Is that a compliment or an inquiry?
We're procrastinaters.
Yeah.
We know what we need to do. We just haven't done it yet.
Can you imagine? So what was your answer for that? Were you guys just like?
We were just dumbfounded. It was like, how do we answer that question? Like, you know. I don't know, man. You have any ideas?
Well, what was I hate to throw all these like podcasts and interviewers under the bus, but when we filled out the written one, somebody asked about like,
you can stop us talking at any point if you need to ask a question.
No, keep going. This is dope. This is fine.
You for this interview?
It's just us talking to each other. But he, I don't know if it was he or she. I don't know. I can't presume gender based on like Times New Roman.
Yeah.
But they were like, like what was it like to work with such a big rock producer like Nick Raskulinecz, and what do you think about him working with a fledgling band like you? Like, doesn't he normally work with super established people? And so we were like, well, it was great to work with him. And about that second point, and there was a ... at the end of it. And so I was like, what kind of like backhanded shit are they trying to do?
Yeah, it was.
And so at the end of it, I was like, okay, well, it was great to work with him. You'll have to ask him about that other thing, ...
Yeah,
like,
sorry
what
about
are you
your like resentment that you don't get to work with him, but it's just like
he reached out to us, so ask him.
That's so crazy. I mean, that like, I don't know, that backhanded compliment, like I definitely get that. Like, ugh. How do you even react to that?
Yeah. So anyways, here we are.
So how did you guys come up with the name for the band?
It started as a political statement, but then I quickly realized I did not want to be in a political band because like that's not the point, I think, of music. And a lot of us are big fans of James Hetfield, and we saw this interview where he talked about they will never talk about politics in interviews because that separates people, and music should bring people together. And so we kind of just took a page out of his book, and it was like, you know what, like, because even amongst our band, it's much like a microcosm of life, right? Like there are people who have opposing views, and it's like that shouldn't drive people apart. It should actually like bring us together and figure out ways how we can like live together and not to be cheesy, but like coexist and whatnot. So I think that's like what we're trying to do as a band, is like not talk about those things because we don't want to drive people apart. I didn't mean to get super deep, but that was the thought process behind it. And then I just thought it was a cool name. And so we just went with it. Like I had a whole nother idea for the imagery. Like I wanted like a politician, like with his hand out, like to try and shake your hand with like a Pinocchio nose, and things like that. And the whole basis of true villains are like, well, the true villains are the ones that are in charge, man. And it was me kind of being like, we gotta get him, man. But then it was like, well, man, I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be like a part of that. So we switched up some ideas on the branding and just kept the name though.
Interesting. So you like quickly backpedaled on all of the political stuff and went another
because
direction.
Politics like drive people apart, and it's okay to disagree. I think that people need to hear that, right? Like It's okay to disagree, people. Like it is okay to have different opinions. We don't need to be at each other's throats because we disagree about certain issues. So that's, I don't know.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Bird.
Couldn't agree more. So how did the Pinocchio nose guy transform into, I'd say now, like your
It's the cigarette now.
Yeah.
Cigarette guy, the guy with slicked back hair and stuff. How did you guys settle on that? Who was the artist that created that?
That was honestly, it was the funniest thing because we were at a rehearsal. This was Tim, myself, the first bass player, which ironically is Greg's roommate, and our original singer. It was the four of us, the original lineup, and we were all at a rehearsal, and we were talking about true villains. And I had the idea of like a Snidely Whiplash type little caricature, but a skull with the mustache of like Snidely Whiplash and the top hat, But then it was like, are people going to understand what that is? Because, I don't know how many people watched Dudley Do-Right when they were a kid. I used to, and I used to love the like train sequence where he's like shoveling coal into the thing, and there's the damsel in distress, and Dudley Do-Right's going to go save her. And so I guess that was like the imagery we were going for with True Villains after that. And then the first draft that we got, it was like, no, that's a little lame. Like that, not a fan of that. And so we switched to the pompadour and a cigarette because we thought that made it a little bit more
Universally cool.
Yeah, and on par with the what the music sounded like. And so we were at a rehearsal, and the artist was like drawing it while we were like rehearsing and sending us like drafts of it. And like from that 2-hour rehearsal, from the start to the finish, we had written a song and gotten like the logo. It was like, wow, this is a productive day. So now we have a direction to like where we're going with this band. And then it all fell apart because 2 members left after that. So, but then we got Beau and Barry and Greg. So I think we're doing A-okay. I'm very stoked.
I was just about to ask. So a different vocalist and a different bassist, did they just kind of leave to pursue a different like music career, or did they just kind of like suck and
No.
They didn't like the logo.
No, I think Clark is a super busy guy. He's a very sought after bass player, and so he went to pursue other
more lucrative things,
more lucrative opportunities.
You went into the side guy thing.
Yeah, and then the singer had some personal issues that he had to figure out, and that's when we got Beau.
Cool, very cool. So, what artists are you guys influenced by? Like I said, your sound is very hard rock. So, are you influenced by like older bands like Motley Crue and stuff like that, Metallica, or are you influenced by newer bands in a similar genre, or you could even listen to like Michael Kiwanuka of like R&B and Lil Yachty rap? You don't know?
No, send us that name because
we all like pretty much every genre.
We like everything. So
yeah,
if it was worth mentioning, send it to us.
Sweet. Yeah, that was like my album of 2019. I'll definitely send you guys that.
Yeah, I'm down.
So what artists do you guys listen to? Or do you not like to listen to an artist and then record at the same time? I've heard that before.
We all have, each of us individually have very eclectic tastes. And then so collectively, the collective musical taste spans everything. But we all have a hankering for some hard rock. We all love pop, melodies, like melodic, like how to navigate through a song in a melodically interesting way. That's also catchy. So we just try to figure out ways to marry the heaviness with the catchiness, and you can find elements of those things in almost any genre of popular music today.
That's true. That's true. Do you guys listen to any other bands that are in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, I think I try and go out since there's concerts. I've been missing that a lot, so I try and go out and see a lot of the new up and coming rock bands just to see what's out there. And there's really good bands in Nashville. Yeah, like really good bands.
Who would have thought?
So it's fun to go out and see what people have been doing.
Yeah, definitely. One of my own personal favorites, Year of October, is based in Nashville. So hopefully someday you guys get to play a show with them.
Year of October?
Yeah.
I've definitely seen their name on some posters before. I remember one time they were playing at the Crying Wolf with some other bands that I knew. And I've seen that they were playing the 5 spot with somebody else too, but I've never actually seen them live. I've just like heard their name around town before.
They're pretty dope. They're like if Amy Winehouse was like covered in fuzzy caterpillars, because their sound is just like ultimate fuzz, and the vocals are very like, deep. It's very cool. It's very cool.
Is it a female fronted band?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's talk about the singles you guys have released. So far, you guys have released 4. The Villain, Blood in the Water in 2020, Dig Your Grave, and Awake at Night during this year. Which of the 4 are you guys most proud of?
Do you want to go first?
That's tough.
I'd say all of them.
I mean, at the point of release, like when The Villain came out, I was definitely the most proud of that one. And then when Blood in the Water came out, I felt the most proud of that one. You know what I mean? It's like, that sounds like a joke, but it's also true. It's like, whatever we're proud of all of them. So whatever we're focusing on at the time, it's never been like, oh man, I can't wait for this release period to be over so we can release the next one. It's like, we're all very proud of all 4 of them. And we can't wait to get back into the studio and record and release more that we'll be proud of,
Is there one that you guys think that people will really enjoy live over the others, or do you feel like it's going to be almost equal across the board?
I think Dig and Awake at Night are both are very effective live. And we seem to get like the best crowd reaction from those 2 songs.
Cool.
My favorite was definitely Dig, because like I feel like that song for me was like my vision of like the artwork, the vibe overall, like what I had in my head was like perfectly executed by the band and by everybody that was involved with that. Like Adam, our video guy and photographer, like did an awesome job like capturing the music video, and everybody killed that song. And just, for me, that one is super special to me, because like it started off like an idea that was like, man, there's so many people out there that complain about certain scenarios that they actually put themselves in. And so like that was the genesis of that song. And then Greg, Beau, Barry, and Tim just like took it far better. I have like a secret weapon of being in bands, or being in this band with musicians that are way better than myself. So like I get to like bring these ideas, and then they get to take them to different heights that I never would have like thought possible. And so And then I get to like sit back and be like, yeah, I had a part in writing that. Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, I that one to me, I think, is my favorite of the four.
I'd say that's my favorite too.
Wow. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. So we talked about Nick a little bit before with the other interviewers talking about him and whatnot, but tell me the story of how he approached you guys and how you feel like your music has, or if you do feel like your music has changed since he came on board, since you were first started releasing.
Well, we met. We kind of got introduced to him through a mutual friend, and he came out to a show to see us play live. And right after the show, come up to talk to us and just said he really liked what we were doing, thought it sounded great. So we set up like a more formal meeting thing at a show or showcase at a place, and we just played our songs through for him. And there was only like one song specifically where he was like, "Oh, I want to record this song right now." And so then we there was some that he liked, but then we went back to the drawing board to do more writing. And then just being in the studio with him has kind of helped us think more about how we shape our songs, or when we're already writing, like what kind of things is he going to tell us to do anyways before we even get there, like cutting the fat and the trim off, like, just trying to make it more of what we already know he's probably going to tell us to do.
Okay. Interesting. Almost like condense it before sending it off. Now, are there more songs than just the four that you guys have created that will see an eventual release?
We don't have any more. You mean recorded, or like, what do you mean?
So when you play a show, is it, I assume it's not just those four songs and then that's it. Is there other?
We play them twice.
Yeah, we play them twice. And then we throw some covers.
And then we do an encore. We play the four again.
Oh,
Yeah.
It sounds fun.
No, we have a bunch of songs that we've written. We had a whole EP before these four songs that we took down because it didn't fit with the rebrand. And it's and then we have a bunch that we've written during quarantine, and then even more that we're in the process of writing right now.
Awesome. So I assume you just need that studio time to just flush them all out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Very cool. Do you think that these four songs will see an EP release, or, fingers crossed, a vinyl release? Or do you think that's just way further down the road?
It's definitely possible that these four will be on a larger collection at some point in the relatively near future. But I think in the meantime, we'll focus on finishing the several that we kind of have in the works right now. Get back together with Nick, record a couple more, kind of get his thoughts on what a larger collection could look like, and we'll just play it by ear. I'm assuming if we have any fans by that point, that a vinyl pressing would be something we would at least look into it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would definitely hope so. I can only imagine how good your music would sound pressed onto a record. I'd definitely buy one.
Our first sale.
Yeah, right? You already have one in the books. Plus, there are a bunch of great record stores down there, too, that you guys could keep them stocked in. There's Grimey's, there's Vinyl Tap.
Exactly.
There's one called the Vinyl Lab. I actually talked to them about pressing some Trugo and stuff. And they have like there's that one, and there's Third Man too, right? Third Man, you can record straight.
Also 1979.
Oh yeah, 1979. There's a bunch of places.
Yeah.
Bunch of places here in town.
Huh. Nice. Yeah. Not bad. Well, let's talk about Awake at Night really quick. So, Beau, you sing, "Am I doing all I can to get it right, or leaving too much up to chance when I should fight? I'm hoping I can find an answer to justify all the things that keep me up awake at night."
Good.
What?
Very good.
What? Well, I had the lyrics in front of me, but what typically keeps you up at night, man? What's got you tossing and turning?
This song was not meant to really be like one specific thing. I I feel like when we try to write songs, it's more like open to interpretation for other people's situations. Then it's just like more relatable to like a wider spectrum of people.
Okay. So it's not actually about your nighttime falling asleep issues. It's
No, it is. It is not about me. I actually just got a new Tempur-Pedic bed, so I'm sleeping pretty well.
awesome. Okay. All right. So it's kind of like all up to interpretation. I like that. So in the track "Dig Your Grave," you sang, "You reach for me to pull you up when you give up so easily. I can set you free when I really want to say is you've only got yourself to blame. Nothing left for me to save. If you go too deep, you'll dig your own grave." What inspires your lyrics? What kind of mindset do you go in? I hate to, that sounds weird, but like, how do you come up with this stuff?
Matt is actually really good at coming up with like a specific line. Like I think when we started playing that song, Matt just was like, "We should call this song 'Dig Your Grave' or something like that." And then just kind of like writing down different things that have to do with that idea. And actually me, Matt, and Greg worked on that song together. They kind of had like come up with some bunch of verse ideas, and I had come up with some chorus ideas and things that like fit the melody. Because usually we'll start with the melody first, and then we already had some of those lines, just like Matt had already come up with the idea for "Dig Your Grave," and then we play through the song in our storage unit, and then there's like certain ways, like when we're just kind of jamming, I'm just like ad-libbing, and then there's certain things that I'll say where I'll be like, "Oh, I really like that." Like when we were just jamming it and I was ad-libbing the "all I really want to say" is just something I kept saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, "Oh, I like that." And then just kind of filling in the rest of the song with that idea in mind.
When we demo things out, Beau will just hum like certain things, like not real words sometimes.
Yeah.
And then like we have like the arduous task of like, what 3-syllable word can sing well in that, because like because like if we're writing lyrics, Beau has to like them, right? Like he's not going to sing something that he doesn't like. And so he's already picked out where he wants to go in the song. So it's like, okay, this is what he wants to do. So now it's like a Mad Libs thing where it's like what words fit right there, but also go with the subject matter that you're talking about, but it's fun. It's a fun challenge to do that. Like I it's a love-hate relationship with writing lyrics. I love writing songs. Lyrics though are just so, because you want to say something, but you don't want to be cheesy, but at the same time, you want to be like relatable to people, right?
Yeah, definitely. I like how you guys all have like a piece in the songwriting process. Obviously, just apart from like the instrumentals, but even the lyrics. Like usually you'll see the vocalist focus on the lyrics, but the fact that you all kind of contribute to that is really refreshing to hear.
Because it's hard, man. Like writing songs is difficult if it's all relying on one person. So if you have multiple people that can like, and it's like not even like I might say something that would trigger Greg to be like, "That's cool, but this is cooler," right? So it might not even be just like what I say might not be the finished product. It could be that'll spark something that Greg says. It'll spark something that Beau will be like, "Oh, that's cool, but this is cooler," and then we just kind of work with each other to reach the end product.
Interesting. Very cool. So I'm just picturing you guys sitting like in the studio and Beau just kind of saying some like
That's exactly how it is. And then like we have to figure out like
pretty much spot on.
Cool. Very cool. I mean, whatever works. I mean, and that sounds like it works pretty well. Now that the U.S. is starting to open back up, do you guys have any plans for touring? Where would you like to tour when you can?
Mostly globally, like on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere on Earth would be preferable.
Ideal at first, But I mean, I don't know. I guess we're supposed to start with our home market and build out, But I don't know. It'd be cool to do like an East Coast tour and a West Coast tour because I feel like all of us either together in this band or with the various artists we played with, have just abused the Midwest. So, I'll play wherever books us and whoever pays us, whatever, we'll go there. But it would be cool to do a West Coast kick and an East Coast kick would be sweet. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. What are your favorite places to play at? In Nashville or around?
In Nashville, I really like the Exit Inn. I really like playing there. But as far my favorite venue I've ever played is the Gorge in it's close to Seattle. It's literally a gorge. It's an aptly named venue, and there's like a reservoir behind it, and like when the sun is going down,
The view is super gorge.
yeah, super gorge.
Is that where they get the name, dude?
Yeah, it's totally where they get the name.
Nice. There you go. Super gorge. What about you guys? What do you?
I haven't been to the new Basement East since the tornado blew the old one down, but I really liked the venue before, so I'm sure it's even better now.
It is. It is better. I just played there on Friday. I also played there the night that the tornado blew it down. The Basement East is probably my
Greg just lives there.
probably my favorite. I mean, I love Exit In, but both the original Basement and Basement East, I think, are my two faves.
Cool. Very cool. So who would you want to play with if you could have your pick? You could either tour with a local band or someone you've already played with. Who would you guys take on tour if you could do a West Coast and East Coast?
We'd love to take Metallica on tour.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
someone's got to just give those guys a break. You know what I mean?
We've
Like,
sent out invitations, but no one's responded. But
yeah,
maybe someday.
I feel like they could be really something special if somebody would just give them a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear Lars is pretty hard to get through, so I get that. I get that.
Bless his.
I would want to go on tour with Royal Blood.
Yeah, that would be great.
Pretty sick. Cool. Very cool.
Yes.
No, I don't have anyone. I don't want to go on tour with anyone.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, why would you?
I think Royal Blood or Metallica. That would be. I mean, how about all three of us?
Let's send it.
Yeah.
What if their only criteria though was if you guys had to play those 4 songs just on repeat?
Yeah, that'd be fine with me.
Be totally fine. Yeah.
We just play them in different renditions, like one like a jazz one, like reggae version
Oh
of
my
Dig Your Grave.
Yes.
But like bring 3 different drum sets for like to accommodate that style sheet.
Yeah, sure.
And
That's the thing. It'll be like, well, it's gonna be a complete like stage changeover in between the 4 song segments.
We're gonna need 186 channels
Yes.
to make this work. Hope you don't mind. They asked for our stage.
The stage plot is like 3 complete stages.
We're gonna need you to move Metallica's stanchions over for us because obviously it's a necessity.
Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, I'm sure they would abide. I'm sure. So would you guys be interested in doing a live stream show, or is this something that you feel like is just kind of like over and done with?
We did one.
Yeah, we did a couple. Yeah.
During the pandemic. We did 2.
Danny.
What?
During the panty.
The panty. We did one in our friend's like basement music room. That was cool. And then we did another one at Tuned In, which is here in Nashville. You should check them out. They're really cool. They do like all on ears. So like everybody, and even the drum set is electronic. So there's like no.
Isn't that cool sounding?
No, it sounds pretty dope. Not bad. Not bad.
It's cool though because they
It
do
is
it
cool.
kind of like an interview type thing where like in between songs they ask you questions about kind of like we're doing here, like an interview process. So it's cool. It's like a talk show.
Yeah. So yeah, sort of like a talk show.
Oh,
And when it's us, it's like a variety show.
Yeah.
it sounds like what was it? Jam in the Van.
Yeah.
Did that, Shannon, yep.
California.
Yeah.
Except for Jam Band's like 3 songs and Tuned In. What were we like? Maybe an hour.
Yeah, we
Hour and a half or
probably
something.
8 songs.
Yeah.
9 songs.
Cool. So do you guys like doing the live stream, or would you obviously prefer doing the no? You don't like it?
I mean, if we have the choice to perform live in front of an audience, that's gonna win every time.
Yeah.
It's very strange because like when you finish a song, you don't get anything. Like there's no like, like usually you like feed off of that, and you get to feed off the audience's energy. And like with a live stream, it's just like, yeah, that was awesome. And then
Basically at practice.
Right.
Nice. So speaking about practice, so you guys practice in a storage locker?
We did. Yeah.
That's dated. That's dated information you got there, man. Somebody actually broke into, or a few people broke into our storage unit. How many months ago? 5 months ago?
Something like that.
4 months ago.
Beginning of the year.
And so we promptly moved out, and now we are stationed out of Matt's like loft studio here in Donaldson, Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice. Well, that sounds like a wicked shit time for people to just break into.
Yeah.
Did you get
They didn't get away with anything though, right? Like they got away with like one piece of gear from Tim and a cajon pedal for me, which I'm sure they wouldn't even know what it is. Which is like strange.
Oh, still though, that must have felt like almost violating to have someone like break into your space and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And it was, a headache because we've been storing gear there for what, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So there's just miscellaneous like shit that's been accumulating, and it was like our safe place, but it wasn't so safe after all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like this is a safer space?
I think so.
I mean, I live here, so yeah. I would
feel safe enough to live.
Excellent. Couple of questions left for you guys. So far, your website true-villains.myshopify has in stock some hats, sweatshirts, and even some phone cases, which I was surprised to see. What piece of merch that you guys sell is your own personal favorite?
It's like the black t-shirt.
Yeah.
The original black t-shirt.
The original black t-shirt.
Keep it classic.
I actually have like 2 or 3 of them now because they just fit nice, and yeah.
Cool. Very cool. What about you guys? Favorite piece of merch? Would you guys wear your own merch? I would hope so.
Are the condoms for sale yet? Yeah, because we sell them like we're like, there's no point in wasting money on like packaging, so they're just kind of like loose. Yeah.
Oh, that's like a
who was it that had
great idea? That sounds awesome.
on the cardboard with like a pin through it, like take one for free, but it's like
there's a big hole in the
middle. There's a big hole in the middle, so don't do that.
I'm sure they'd still get it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
especially if it's like the Magnum ones that you guys like are putting out or whatever, like I'm sure people.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Dude.
Like,
actually, something that's not for sale anymore on our site, the sweatshirts that you made, Matt. Those are the best. Those are rad.
Yeah. Well, we sold out of those quick. Those are really cool.
Cool. Very cool. Is there any other merch ideas that you guys have floating around? Other black t-shirts or maybe a white one?
Do like a big bouncy house, like an all black one that's shaped like a haunted house that like kids can rent for their birthdays and stuff. That was an idea that we had.
Right. But they like can rent. It's sort of like a singing telegram.
Yeah, like we come perform the 4 songs for like 8 hours.
Right.
And they can bounce in the bouncy house.
Nice. Perfect.
If you have any kids, just keep that in mind.
I'm just thinking about like you guys shooting a music video like in the bouncy house, but like having to borrow other people's kids.
For sure.
Yes. Give us your kids.
Yeah, like we can't be too descriptive, and and like what in the ad.
Yeah.
So wrapping up this interview, what do you want your listeners to know about the band? Or what do you wish that they knew about you guys?
That we exist.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, that's it. That's it. Just,
And yeah, we just want people to know about us and to listen to us. And we're working on new stuff. Listen to the old stuff. We're not going anywhere. We've got a lot of cool things in the works. And follow us on social media at True Villains Nashville.
Yeah, if you like rock music, chances are, I mean, you'll like what we do.
I think so too.
Because it's kind of got a little bit of everything. So
cool. Awesome. Very cool. All right, last question, guys. Thanks ahead of time for staying on for nearly an hour talking with me. I appreciate it. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only have one album with you, what album would you pick?
I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, you go
Because
first.
I've answered it the same every single interview I've ever done. Is the Michael Jackson Bad album. I love that album, like start to finish.
I could have sworn you were being sarcastic, but awesome.
He's
No,
not.
dead serious. Yeah, that's
I love Michael Jackson too. That's not my favorite Michael Jackson record.
off the wall
That's
guy
a-
or Thriller guy.
I like both Off the Wall and Thriller. But it wouldn't be a Michael Jackson record. It would probably be a Beatles record. It would probably be probably either Rubber Soul or shit. Or like Abbey Road. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. No, I don't want to participate.
Awesome.
Mine would be that Bourne's album, Dopamine.
What? I've never heard you talk about
Nice.
that. Wow.
It was his first album that he put out, and I always, I don't know, I go back to it a lot because I think it's really good.
It's desert island themed, so that's why you would bring it.
It's just appropriate. Has anybody said like Bob Marley? Like, I'm not a fan. I just feel like it
It's
really set
island
the
music.
vibe. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, everyone, you can check out True Villains' music now streaming on all major platforms. Be sure to check out the track Awake at Night that is used during this episode. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
It was one for the books from the start. I was hooked. We were riding home. You could ride in stone.